Imagine when the whole world is investing billions of dollars in electric vehicles, considering them the future. Then suddenly, the CEO of Toyota makes a statement that has created a stir in the entire auto industry. He said this new engine will shake the entire EV industry. But what kind of engine is it that can give sleepless nights to even big companies like Tesla? The answer is the hydrogen combustion engine. They have already launched the hydrogen fuel cell car Toyota Mirai, which runs on hydrogen. But now their next step is to bring the combustion engine to the mainstream. The Mirai has shown the world that a car running on hydrogen is not just a dream but a reality. Now through the combustion engine they want to reach those people who like the power and sound of a traditional engine, but at the same time do not want to harm the environment. Toyota also says that in the future they will not limit hydrogen engines to cars only. The company wants this technology to be used in buses, trucks, and even industrial machines. Imagine if big trucks and buses run on the road without smoke and release only water. What a big change that would bring. Meanwhile, Toyota is constantly testing its engine on racing tracks. The company believes that racing is the best ground to see if a technology is really sustainable or not, because there the engine is pushed to its limit speed, heat, constant pressure. And if the engine passes there, then it is definitely fit to run on the road. This is the reason why Toyota takes its hydrogen combustion engine to new races every year and keeps improving it. It is clear that Toyota is not joking about this technology. They have tested it on a real track, made prototypes, and have also prepared a concrete plan to take it to the public in the coming years. This is why when the CEO of Toyota says that this engine will shake the EV industry, his words cannot be taken lightly. The threat to EV companies like Tesla, BYD, and NIO is real. Now, the biggest question is, if Toyota's hydrogen combustion engine really becomes successful, then what will happen to the EV companies? Companies like Tesla, BYD, and NIO have been convincing the whole world for the last several years that electric vehicles are the future. They have invested billions of dollars in EV technology, in making new batteries, setting up charging stations, and in everything from software to the design of vehicles. But just imagine if the hydrogen engine actually comes into the market and does what EVs have not been able to do so far. It can change the whole game. Talking about Tesla, Elon Musk turned the world towards EVs. Today, Tesla is not just a car company but a symbol of the EV industry. But Tesla's entire strategy is based on battery technology and the charging network. They have spent billions of dollars building the supercharger network. If the hydrogen engine comes into the market and people leave the hassle of battery charging and fill their hydrogen tank in 5 minutes, then Tesla's entire network may become useless. That is, Tesla will be forced to change its strategy and either adopt hydrogen technology itself or gradually see its grip loosen. Now let's come to BYD, which is China's largest EV manufacturer and also Tesla's biggest competitor. BYD has invested so much in EVs and battery technology that today it is among the top companies in the world in battery manufacturing. Their entire business model is based on the fact that the EV market will grow continuously. But the arrival of the hydrogen engine can shock this prediction. NIO's battery swapping technology is also something to consider here. If the world starts leaning towards hydrogen instead of electric vehicles, then BYD will have to rethink its billion-dollar investment. They will also be forced to start research on hydrogen. Otherwise, their technology will become a thing of the past. Now let's talk about new companies like NIO. NIO has positioned itself as an alternative to Tesla. They have tried to build trust in people about electric vehicles and have also worked on their battery swapping technology. But the hydrogen engine also directly attacks this model. NIO says that if the battery runs out, people can go to the battery swapping station and get a new battery immediately. But if there is no battery when the hydrogen engine arrives, then the swapping station will be meaningless. That is, their entire business model can be in danger. The biggest setback for electric vehicle companies will be that their years of research and billions of dollars of investment may suddenly prove to be useless. The new battery technologies they have developed, such as solid-state batteries, lithium iron phosphate batteries, or ultra-fast charging, all of these can pale in comparison to the simplicity and power of the hydrogen engine. The biggest promise of electric vehicles, zero emission, is also fulfilled by the hydrogen engine actually in an even better way because, there's no hassle of charging. However, one thing is clear here. Electric vehicle companies are not going to give up so easily. Companies like Tesla, BYD, and NIO will definitely try their hand at hydrogen technology as well. But this transition will not be easy because the infrastructure and production setup they have built is completely based on battery and charging. Now, suddenly shifting to hydrogen will be as difficult for them as it is for petrol companies to make electric vehicles. Challenges of the hydrogen engine. So far we have seen how the hydrogen combustion engine can eliminate the biggest weaknesses of electric vehicles and why it is being considered a game changer for the auto industry. But the truth is that every new technology brings its challenges. The hydrogen engine is also not untouched by this. If it were so easy, then by now vehicles all over the world would have been running on hydrogen instead of petrol, diesel, or battery. So let's understand in simple language, what are the biggest difficulties of the hydrogen engine and why it is not so easy to adopt it on a large scale. The first challenge is the storage and transportation of hydrogen. Hydrogen is a very light and explosive gas. It is not easy to store it safely. You have to fill it in special tanks with very high pressure. It cannot be stored in ordinary tanks like common petrol or diesel. To store hydrogen in liquid form, it has to be cooled to minus 250 degrees Celsius. Now imagine how difficult and expensive it would be to maintain such a cold and high-pressure condition. This is the reason why, at present, the production and transportation of hydrogen are very expensive and complex. The second big problem is the lack of hydrogen fuel stations. Today, if you have a petrol or diesel car, you will find a petrol pump every 5 to 10 kilometers wherever you go. Charging stations are being set up rapidly for EVs all over the world. But this facility is still very limited for hydrogen cars. There are only a few hydrogen stations in the whole world. In some areas like Japan, Germany, and California, the government and companies are building hydrogen stations together, but their number is still very low. Even if a person buys a hydrogen car, his biggest concern is where will he find a station when the tank is empty. Until hydrogen stations are built in every city and on highways, common people will hesitate to buy a hydrogen car. Now comes the third challenge: initial cost and infrastructure. The technology required to make hydrogen engines and cars is very expensive right now. Hydrogen tanks and their safety systems used in vehicles are very costly. Apart from this, the production of hydrogen is also not so cheap at present. Most of the hydrogen is currently made from natural gas, which harms the environment. Whereas to make clean hydrogen, which is called green hydrogen, we need big plants and huge investments. This means that the price of a hydrogen car is currently out of the reach of the common man. Not only making a car but also preparing the entire infrastructure is a big challenge. Just like, a charging network was set up for electric vehicles, thousands of fuel stations will have to be built for hydrogen. This work will take a lot of time and money. Also, governments will have to make a big investment in it. Otherwise, companies will not be able to bear this burden alone. Another problem is people's trust. People have not yet fully understood electric vehicles, and now if hydrogen engines come, they will have to think again. Many people also fear the safety of hydrogen because this gas is flammable and can pose a danger if not stored properly. Although the technology has become so advanced that it can be used safely, the fear remains in the minds of the general public. It is clear that as great as the hydrogen engine sounds, its path is equally difficult. The cost of storage and transportation, lack of fuel stations, initial costs, and infrastructure problems, all these are big obstacles in its path right now. History has witnessed that whenever a new technology comes along, it often seems expensive and difficult at first. But gradually, as research and investment increase, things become easier. Companies like Toyota and others are really engaged in overcoming these challenges. And hey, many countries are also investing in hydrogen, considering it the fuel of the future. So it's quite possible that, in the coming 10 to 15 years, we'll start seeing hydrogen cars on the road. Now let's talk about the aspect that's most discussed, the impact of the hydrogen combustion engine on the environment. Today, when the world is struggling with global warming and pollution, every country is on the lookout for clean technology. Petrol and diesel vehicles release carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and many poisonous gases into the air. And these gases, they heat the atmosphere and cause climate change. On the other hand, the biggest advantage of the hydrogen engine is that when hydrogen burns in it, only water and steam come out of the exhaust. No smoke or carbon at all. That is, the vehicle will run and the air will also remain clean. But there is also a truth. Hydrogen will be called completely green only when green energy, like solar, wind, or hydropower, is used to make it. Currently, most hydrogen is made from natural gas, which releases carbon. On the other hand, EVs do not emit smoke while running, but the process of making their batteries and later disposing of them harms the environment. Mining of lithium and cobalt contaminates land and water. That is, it can be said that both hydrogen and EVs are green, but the scope of hydrogen can be more clean and sustainable if green hydrogen starts being produced on a large scale. Now let's come to global politics and its impact on the auto industry. Today, almost every government is promoting EVs. Subsidies are given, tax exemptions are available, and huge investments are being made to build charging stations. But the arrival of hydrogen can change the picture. Japan and Germany are already working on hydrogen, considering it the future fuel. If this engine is successful, then governments can gradually start supporting hydrogen instead of EVs. This change will not be limited to the auto industry only, but will also affect international politics. Petroleum-dependent countries like Saudi Arabia, Russia, and Iraq will get a big shock from this because if hydrogen and EVs become common, oil consumption will decrease and their economy will be shaken. On the other hand, countries like China, Chile, and Argentina that supply lithium for EVs have made lithium white gold. But if hydrogen technology progresses, the demand for lithium will decrease, and the grip of these countries will also loosen. In the next 10 to 20 years, we will see all three types of vehicles on the roads: petrol, diesel, EVs, and hydrogen cars. Finally, the question is for you. Do you believe that the game of EVs is about to end and hydrogen engines will become the real kings of tomorrow? Or will both together give a new shape to the world of vehicles? Do share your opinion in the comments. And yes, before moving on to the video, do not forget to subscribe to the channel so that you can be the first to see such interesting updates.